All right, guys and ladies, welcome back. I'm just going to continue on with creating these block letters in sets of 3. That way you don't have to watch a, hour-long video, trying to figure out, how to draw the letter Z. So I'm just going to continue on. My next group of letters is going to be N, Y, and Z. So I still need to set up my boundaries for my letters, and my boundaries are all 5x7. So I'm just looking at some of the letters I have drawn before, and I'm doing that. So the first letter is going to be an N. Oh wait, I've already done the N. I did that in the earlier video. I will cross that out, and let's do J. We'll do a J in here. And there's a few different ways you could do a J. I'm just going to show you one way to do that. You could come down along the side and curve your J. You could bring a bar across and then bring the J in the middle. I'm actually going to go the long way because I think it looks a little nicer. But there are other ways you can do this. So I have basically on that little J, I have a straight and then a horizontal and then a short vertical, okay, to create this J. So I'm going to zoom in so you guys can see what I'm doing. So give me just a second while I do that. There we go. And now you can see better. Okay, so I'm going to do the straight part first. And I know that's going to be right through there. So I'm going to sketch out that straight vertical block of space. There we go. And then I've got the horizontal that goes across. So I'm going to bring it horizontally across for 5 squares because I want it to be 5x7. And then I have the short vertical. So I'm going to bring a short vertical. And I think that looks weird. So I'm going to erase one of those off. There we go. That looks a little bit better. So like I said, if you wanted to, you could bring the J down the middle. And I think I'll just do that for you so you can see both ways. Might as well. So I could go this way with the J. And then I'm going to erase this part over here. I said I wasn't going to do it, but I guess I'll do both ways anyway. And I'm just leaving that block right here because I know I'm going to come across and do the J this way. So really, it's just trial and error, figuring out what you like. So there's a J. And then a Y. There's 2 different ways you can do it. You can do it with a diagonal that way, or you can do it this way. I personally like this better because it's more symmetrical, which means it's the same on both sides, and it's easier for me to calculate where the middle is going to be, like right here, and then how I'm going to bring that little miniature V down in the middle. So, and you know me, I like having the flat spots on the Y's, so I'm going to go ahead and make a flat there, and a flat there, and then a flat at the bottom. And that's 5 across, and I know the number 3 is the block in the middle. So if I wanted to, I have that vertical center. I could lightly sketch that in the whole way. Okay, so that way I know this is my, middle point, okay? And then I'm going to bring it all the way across, and I'm going to grab my ruler for that, and I want it to come through here. So I'm going to connect those 2 spots, and then I'm going to connect these 2 spots. So if I use this corner right here, I know I'm going to use that corner because it's the one that's across from it. Okay? And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. So I'm going to connect those 2 together, and then I'm going to use that one right there. Okay, so when I shade that in, that gives me the little intersection for the Y. And like I said, there's no right and wrong way, you know, it just needs to look like the letter and it needs to not have any curves in it. So, you know, that's just one way to do this. And then the third one I was going to do for this video is not an R. That's from the letter above it. It's going to be a Z right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And looking off this one, it's going to be there. It's going to be there. Now, I realize this Y isn't filling up the whole space of 5 by 7, but here's the deal. The corners reach across and make up the distance of 5 blocks. This center line reaches down and makes up the distance of 7 blocks. That's how this still counts as a 5 by 7. Because I didn't make it short, I didn't squeeze it in here and just use these 3 blocks. I stretched them out to the 1st and the 5th block. And that's how I'm able to keep all of my letters consistent in size. Okay, and that's important. You want it to be consistent in size. So for a Z, I know I have a horizontal across the top, a horizontal across the bottom, and then a diagonal that connects the two together. So I know I'm going to be sketching across the top horizontally, just to kind of fill that space in, across the bottom, and then I'm going to have some diagonals that come across. So in order to do that, I'm just going to kind of play around with my ruler here. And if I went here to here, if I went from this corner to this corner, I'm just going to like lightly sketch that in. Okay, that's kind of the direction that I want it to go. So if I draw a parallel from, let's see what's going to happen if I go here. If I go here to here, those are not parallel. So I'm going to really look at this line, and I'm really going to look at my ruler and make sure that the distance from here to here and the distance from here to here are the same. And then I'm just going to lightly shade that in. Okay, it looks good, but it's too skinny compared to these two. So if I go down here and do the same thing, I'm going to look at that center line and look at the edge of my ruler, and those are the only two spaces that I'm looking at, and I'm looking up and down along that edge, and I'm looking to see that the distance is the same here and the distance is the same here, so that when I connect those two and I lightly shade it in, it has the same thickness. Okay? And that's just how I do that. Like I said, and I've said in every one of these videos, there's more than one way to draw all of these, you know, and I'm just giving you a simple version of these letters. So I will see you in the next video, and I hope this is helping. And yep, see you there. Bye.